Hi there. Thank you for joining us today. Today's workshop will focus on the support app of DevRev. But before we begin, let's take a moment to walk through the agenda for the day. All right. So we'll start with what tickets are and how they function. Then we'll look at how conversations flow seamlessly from plug to DevRev and how tickets originate from the portal to streamline support. And then finally, we'll look at service level agreements and the analytics tools in DevRev. But before we jump into the platform, let us go ahead and have a quick discussion about why DevRev. So, as we were building DevRev, we noticed that there was an opportunity for a future where developers, builders, and customers could come closer like never before. So, our goal here is to help build the world's most customer-centric companies by ensuring that every internal team has access to customer insights, which allows us to focus on meaningful work and create solutions that truly matters to our customers. So now let's begin with the first part of the agenda, that is tickets. Now, within DevRev, we define tickets as the feedback or voice of the customer. So a customer could describe a problem that they are facing, or provide suggestions for improvements, and that's when they can go ahead and create a ticket. While users create tickets, it's crucial for the support agents and admins to classify the type of ticket. Now, this classification can vary depending on the organization and workflow, but at DevRep, we generally classify tickets as bug tickets, feature requests, or support tickets, each with its predefined workflow. For example, a bug ticket is raised when a customer reports a technical issue or malfunction. A feature request ticket is used when a customer suggests a new feature or an enhancement. And lastly, a support ticket is created when a customer faces an issue or problem and requires assistance from your support team with your product or service. The reason we emphasize classification is that it helps us effectively manage and respond to tickets. Now, if it's a support ticket, the support agent or engineer can address, resolve, and close the conversation. However, a bug ticket might need to be assigned to someone specific, and a feature request needs to be tracked to the right place. Therefore, different organizations may have different methods for classifying these tickets, and this can always be configured on the back end if needed. All right, now before diving into how all of this looks like within DevRev, let's first explore how your customers can initiate a conversation through the plug and portal, create a ticket, and how the flow progresses from these channels to DevRev. Let's first explore how your customers can initiate a conversation through plug and how that conversation can seamlessly be tracked back in DevRev and how the support team can effectively handle it. All right. So this is the website of Maple, and this can be accessed through support.devrev.ai. I'm sorry, maplesoftware.net. Now, at the bottom right corner, we have a purple widget, which is what we call the plug widget. Now, if I click on this widget, it will open this interface for me. Now, as mentioned earlier, plug allows customers to start a conversation, track the progress of their ticket, and also access the help center and search for articles if needed. Now, let's say I am a customer of Maple and I want to initiate a conversation with the query that I'm facing. Let's see Turing, our AI, will be able to answer my question in this case. So I'll go ahead and type a question. Now, what Turing does is it fetches relevant information from the extensive knowledge base that you have back in DevRev to provide me with the answer to my query. Now, as you can see, I asked my query here was that my transactions were failing. And what Turing did is it fetched the relevant information from my data to see why the problem was happening in the first place. I can also ask follow-up questions for Turing. So let's say So if I further want assistance from Turing, I can ask it and it will then connect me to a live agent. Now I can also ask Turing to create a ticket on my behalf. And let's see how Turing can do that. As you can see that Turing has now created a ticket and given me a ticket ID which I can use to track the progress with the title and the right description. Now all of this information can then be tracked back in DevRev from the inbox tab. Now you can see that this is the conversation that we initiated through plug widget and it has now landed back in DevRev where where a support agent can look at the conversation and reply to the customer. Now let's take a look at how tickets can be created by customers through the portal and how they can make their way into DevRev. All right. So this is the customer portal of Maple, which can be accessed through support.devrev.ai/Maple. Now, whenever you sign up with DevRev, you will have a unique URL for your customer support, for your customer portal, which goes like support.devrev.ai/ the name of your organization. So this interface includes a search bar allowing customers to resolve their queries and access related articles. And to create ticket, customers must log in from right here. And once logged in, they can click on the submit ticket option at the top right corner and then click on plus ticket and provide the necessary details of the tickets, such as title, a description, and then click on submit. Once submitted, customers can view the progress of their tickets from right here, along with the ticket ID, the title, description, and some of the attributes related to this particular ticket. Now, since this ticket was created from portal, it says source channel is portal. Your customers can also initiate a conversation from right here as well. And all of this information can be then tracked back in DevRef, where a support agent can then look into this conversation and assist the customer further with their query. Now, before diving into any of these conversations, let's first explore what we have in this interface. So there are several filter options available to tailor your view. For example, you can create a custom vista by filtering conversations based on the ones that are assigned to you, the ones that were modified in the last 24 hours. You can also filter based on verified users or non-verified users, based on spam conversations or the ones that are not spam. You can also filter based on the various stages that a conversation goes through. And then you can also add or remove filters as and when necessary. You also have several sorting and grouping options available here. So you can sort by created date, CSAT rating, customer waiting longest, etc. You can also group these by groups, members, owners, etc. And you can also have this view customized for yourself. So for example, if you don't want to see the next SLA target column here, you can head over to the customize tab and remove the next SLA target, and the column will be removed from the interface. Similarly, you can also add in as many columns as you want and also switch between the columns as well to have a very personalized view for yourself. Once you make any of these changes, you can save this vista by clicking on the save option right at the top, and you can create a new view. Give your view a title, a description. You can also decide on the visibility, whether you want this vista to be visible to everyone who is using this interface or just you. And you can also go ahead and pin this particular vista on under your left navigation menu. Once done, you can click on create. Now, if we look into any one particular conversation, but before that, there are this conversations interface is divided into three different tabs here. Primary is with the verified users. So all of the conversations from the verified users will be listed under the primary tab. All the unverified conversations will be listed under the guest tab, and all of the spam conversations will be under the spam tab. Now, if I click open any of these conversations, we have several attributes going on here, which helps us to differentiate one conversation from the other. Now, a difference between a conversation and a ticket within DevRev is that conversations can be is always in the form CONV, and then you will have the conversation ID, whereas a ticket will be TKT with the ticket ID. So we have several attributes on this particular conversation here, starting from the member, the part. So it's necessary for a support agent to select which part of the product does this conversation come from to track everything back to the product. You can also add group, owners, the stage of the conversation, and several other attributes here. You can also look at the SLAs. So we have the first response time, the resolution time, and you can also see if there are any breaches in the SLAs. And then, of course, we have our session analytics. So session recordings are, the recordings, the 10 to 15 seconds of the user activity before they reached out to help. So this gives the support agent some context on what issue the customer was facing right before reaching out to help. You can also toggle between the attributes here. So you can also only, if you want to only view at all the required fields, you can filter this off by toggling this option. You can also search for a particular attribute here and then clear it as when necessary. Now, at the left side, we have three different tabs available, starting from the customer messages tab. Now, this tab is where you will initiate, or you will have back and forth conversation with your customers, and anything that you send here will be directly visible to your customers. And then we have the internal discussion tab. This is where you can have a quick discussion with your internal team members, and anything that you send here will not be visible directly to the customers. And then we have the events tab, which is basically all the updates related to this particular conversation along with the timestamps. So let's say if there is a field that is updated, you will get a notification on the events tab here. If you feel as a support agent, these conversations need to be created into a ticket, or rather converted into a ticket, that's when an agent can click on the convert to ticket option here and click on proceed. And the entire conversation will then be converted into a ticket. And this notification will also be then sent back to the customer that a ticket has been created, so that they can, with the ticket ID, so that they can track the progress of the ticket as well. And once done, you can click on view ticket option here, and all of the conversations will then be preserved. So now let's see where we can find the ticket that we created. So if we head over to the tickets tab, this is where you can find all the global list of tickets which are available in the system. But before we dive into a particular ticket, let's see what we have in this interface. So similar to what we saw in the conversations tab, we have several options available here as well. Starting from, by filtering the tickets that are assigned to me, from the ones that are modified in the last 24 hours. You can filter based on created date, based on who the owner is. You can also filter based on the stage of the ticket as well. You can also sort, group, and customize, similar to what we just saw in the inbox tab. And similarly, you can create the vista for yourself as well. So if we apply any filters, the save option will appear here, and then you can create your vista from right here. And other thing that we have here is smart cluster. Now, if I click open this particular lightning symbol, this will open smart cluster for me. So smart cluster is a feature in DevRev that groups similar tickets together, helping to organize and categorize them based on similarities. So it serves as a personal vista for users to view and manage their group tickets and allows sharing with other team members. So the AI, what it does here, it is generates a cluster view with most commonly used keywords in all the tickets, making it easier to identify and address common issues. For instance, as you might see, there are total 5 tickets under the payment processing issues and API failures, 5 tickets under send line one support and product inquiries, so on. So it basically groups a ticket based on the various themes that are coming out of these tickets. And you can also export this view as a CSV on JSON file. Additionally, if you're a support agent on call with a customer about an issue that they are facing, you can create a ticket on customer's behalf by clicking on the plus ticket option at the top right, fill in the necessary details, and simply clicking on create. All right, now let's dive into a particular ticket and let's see what we have here. Now, the first thing that you will notice is the ticket ID, and as discussed, as mentioned earlier, ticket can be recognized by TKT and then the ticket ID, whereas a conversation will be CONV. Then you will notice the title that the customer gave, the description, and any attachments along with the descriptions can be found under the file section here. And similar to conversations, we also have three similar tabs here, starting from the customer messages tab, where all the customer messages can be seen. Internal discussion tab, where you can start a quick conversation with the internal team member, and all the events or all the updates on this particular ticket can be listed in the events tab. We have similar attributes available here as well. Now, something that you notice here additional would be attaching issues, opportunities, articles, and incidents um, with this ticket. So, if you think that there is work already happening in the back end where the same issue is being trying to be, is trying to be resolved, that's when you can link a issue here directly to this particular ticket. So to do that, you will just simply have to click on the plus icon here, search for that issue, or also create a new issue if necessary. Let's say if I want to um, link this particular issue, I can just click on it and you can see that a issue has now been linked to this particular ticket here. Similarly, I can go ahead and link opportunities, articles, incidents as well. And then we also have sessions, as mentioned earlier. These are last 10 to 15 seconds of user activities before reaching out to help. And you can quickly view on this session here as to what the customer was doing before reaching out for help. You can also adjust your playback speed, adjust the view here, and then you have also some of the options available here, starting from dead clicks, rage clicks, API errors, and all of the information related to that. Then we also have Turing Assist. Now, what Turing Assist does it, if there are any similar tickets to this particular ticket, it will fetch up that those tickets, the top three ones, so that you can go into a particular ticket, look at what's happening there, how the problem was resolved, and pass on that similar information to the customers of this particular ticket. Similarly, it will also pull up relevant articles from the knowledge base, which is relevant to this particular conversation here, and look at some of the options that you can copy and send it to the customers. Along with that, we also have some options available here at the top corner, starting from the three dot menu. So we have the start huddle option here, which is currently in beta, but which basically allows you to start a huddle with all of the watchers of this ticket. Now, if you see here, you can see that this uh, there is a subscriber of this ticket. Now you can add as many subscribers as you want, and those will then be added as the watchers of this ticket, and they will be notified anything and everything that is happening around this ticket. And then we have the summarize option. So this is an AI powered feature that we have under tickets tab. So what this will do is it will summarize everything that is happening around this particular ticket. So let's say if there are a lot of back and forth conversation that had happened around this ticket, which is difficult for someone who was just looped into this conversation and who does not have any context. In that case, that person can click on the summarize option here, and it will provide all the relevant information or the summary of this ticket, starting with problem at hand, discussions, and also the next steps and actionables. The agent can then copy this information and share it further with their extended team members. You can also decide on the notifications on this particular ticket, whether you want to get notified whenever there is any discussions happening, whenever you're mentioned in this ticket, or if there are any field updates as well. And you can also toggle between the expanded and the condensed view here. Now, another option that is available here is the enhance option. So let's say you are looped into this conversation in the middle of it, and you're not really, you have to provide an answer to the or reply a customer, but you're not really thinking much about it. So let's say I type a message which does not sound very professional or sounds a bit rude. So obviously the message that I typed here is very rude and it's not professional at all. In that case, we can select the message and click on the enhance option here, and we will have several options available starting from rephrase. So you can rephrase this message into something more casual, friendly, as well as professional. You can also fix the grammar, lengthen this text, as well as decide to shorten it. So let's see if it can rephrase this text into something more professional. And you can see that AI has done that work for you. So it said, we appreciate your patience as we investigate this matter. Similarly, you can lengthen this message as well. And once done, you can click, hit send. You can also access commands. So there are two ways that you can access the commands. So one is by typing slash, or you can also access it from this icon here and click on any of these commands and you should be good to go. All right, now let's talk a bit about SLAs and analytics. So, SLAs or service level agreements are contracts between the organization and its customers to ensure a certain level of support. Now, for example, customers expect timely responses based on the severity of the issue, but as acknowledging and resolving a problem within a specific time frame, like say for example 6 hours. Therefore, SLAs are often tailored to fit the organization's needs and are typically displayed on the company's website. Now, this offers different levels of support based on customer values, and organizations can define their SLAs into platform like DevRev, and they can set response times and resolution targets for different ticket severities. And SLAs can be configured within DevRev, allowing customization of response times, business hours, time zones, holidays, or other parameters to fit organizations' requirements. DevRev also provides tools to track SLAs indicating breaches in response time or resolution targets, enabling teams to prioritize and manage tickets effectively. Now, to create an SLA, you can head over to the settings tab and scroll a little bit down to SLAs. And to create a new SLA, you can click on the plus create option here. Give your SLA a name, a description, and once done, you can click on continue. You will need to provide a title and a description, and once done, you can also add multiple policies to that particular SLA. And if a ticket meets the condition of more than one policy, right here, the policy with the highest priority will be applied. All right. That's all that I had from my side today. Thank you for joining.